Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I welcome you to PMDC online lecture room. This is Bakhtiar Ahmad, lecturer in English, PMDC Boys, Hyderabad. Dear students, before we embark into the journey of our topic, let me quote from Shakespeare. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. According to the great Iqbal, नहीं है ना उम्मीद इकबाल अपनी कश्ती वीरां से ज़रा नम हो तो ये मट्टी बहुत ज़रख़ीज़ है साकी. According to the great Abdurrahman Baba, मलंग सड़ेयम बाचाही पलास के मरा कवई हसन टोल जहान लुगेकला मदयार लस्तरगो. So dear students, I hope you better understood that our today's session is going to be very interesting because it is the technical part of literature. Dear students, I hope you know that we enjoy literature because of its beautiful, ornate and inspiring language and grand ideas of the great writers. So there is beauty, freshness and color in literature because of our today's topic, which is figures of speech. Figures of speech, we can say some elements which make speech beautiful and inspiring. Let me define figure of speech. A figure of speech is a departure from the ordinary form of expression or the ordinary course of ideas in order to produce greater effect. One is common language, one is grand. It is a departure is made from commonplace language in order to produce greater effect. So dear student, it is a deliberate and intentional departure and deviation from ordinary language in order to gain freshness and strength of expression. So great people, great writer, we can say men of wisdom like Plato, Aristotle, Shakespeare, Milton, Francis Bacon, Keats, Wordsworth, the great Iqbal, the great Rahman Baba, the great Khushal Baba, Ghani Baba, Hamza Baba. They made thorough use of the literary devices in order to make their language more effective, persuasive and impactful. So by using figure of speech, they have instructed, persuaded, inspired and held the attention of the readers and audience. Okay, dear students, figures of speech are divided into various categories and types to help students better understand, remember and use these devices. So some figure of speech are based on resemblance, some of them are based on contrast, some of them are based on association and some of them are based on construction. But dear students, in today's topic, I will stick to literary devices based on resemblance, which are simile, metaphor, personification, and apostrophe. The first figure of speech which is based on resemblance is simile. Simile is a Latin word and by definition a comparison is made between two objects of different kinds which have at least one point in common. And the simile is introduced by such words as, like and so. Dear student, it's a comparison between two different objects, two different things having one idea, one quality, one attribute in similar. For example, the Assyrian came down like a wolf on the fold. Look at the Assyrian great warriors, people, they are compared to a wild wolf. According to the statement, the werewolf attack on herd of sheep. Fold stands for enclosure for sheep. The werewolf attack on the herd of sheep in the same way the Assyrian, they attack their enemy, and this statement is introduced by like. A comparison is made with the help of like. Second example of simile is, it is a couplet from Shakespeare. Words are like leaves where they most abound, much fruit of sense beneath is rarely found. Great idea. Look at, too many words are compared to too many leaves in a tree. According to the couplet, if there are too many leaves in a tree, there is less fruit. In the same way, if a person talks too much, the person has little intelligence and wisdom. The fourth example, again it is from Shakespeare. Life is as tedious as a twice told tale, vexing the dull ear of a drowsy man. Life is as boring as a story which is narrated for the second time and no one is paying any attention, and it makes a person vexing, irritating, annoying, boring. So life is compared to a story which is being narrated for the second time. Number fourth example of simile: as the hart panteth after the water brooks, so my soul after thee, God. The hart, it is a red male deer. This statement is from King James Version. The hart is compared to a soul, like the way hart search breathes quickly in search of water brooks. In the same way, a person's soul, the person, the person that is stated in that epistle, his soul searches for God. So there are so many other examples of similes, like mad as March hare, as proud as peacock, as bold as brass, as tough as leather, as clear as crystal, as good as gold, as old as the hills, as cool as cucumbers. So English language is rich in this simile. The second figure of speech, which is based on resemblance, is metaphor. Metaphor, dear student, it is an implied comparison between two different things having one point in common without using as, like, or so. Dear student, we make comparison without using as, like, and so, and it is an implied comparison. It is also called an implied simile. In simile we use some words like as, like, and so, but in metaphor we do not use it. Search for the idea of similarity and in dissimilarity. For example, the camel is the ship of the desert. The camel is the ship of the desert. Camel is the ship of the desert, like the way camel strides in the desert, in the same way ship floats in the sea, in water, we can say. So an implied comparison is made between camel and the ship. The second example of metaphor is variety is the spice of life. Variation in life is pleasant. Like man hates monotony. If there is variation in life, the life is pleasant and interesting. So in the same way, like the way spice flavors food, in the same way variation makes life interesting. The third example of metaphor is the news was a dagger to his heart. The way dagger pierces a heart and it makes pain, it produces pain. So in the same way, the unpleasant, disgusting and frightening news gives pain. Number fourth example, it is an example of mixed metaphor. It is a statement from Boyle Roche, a member of parliament, a member of Irish parliament, we can say. Like there was some plot, some scheme, some conspiracy was going against him. So he delivered a speech and he made his idea clear to all of the parliamentarian. What did he say? I smell a rat, I see it floating in the air, but I will nip it in the bud. Look at, dear student, it is very difficult to catch. That comparison is made between what? Like between two different things, but it is difficult to catch this comparison. It is an example of mixed metaphor. So mixed metaphor is a succession of ludicrous comparison when two or more objects are compared, when they are jumbled together illogically. So it is an example of mixed metaphor. Look at, dear student, I smell a rat. It is talking about when a dead smell, when it's not dead smell, sorry, when a foul smell, disgusting smell of a dead rat, like the rat is is decomposing, so it produces a very bad and foul smell. So the way that dead rat produces a foul smell, so it is compared to a plot, a scheme, a conspiracy that is going against the parliamentarian Boyle Roche. So he declared that I smell a rat. He had pursued some plot, some scheme, some conspiracy that is going on against him. I see it floating in the air in that parliament, but I will nip it in the bud. I will not allow it to be fully grown. So this was an example of metaphor. Dear students, metaphor and simile, they can be, like a simile can be compressed into a metaphor, and every metaphor can be compressed into a simile. So look at the camel is the ship of the desert. If I make it simile, so what will it become? The camel is like the ship of the desert. And look at, if I say that Richard fought like a lion. Simile. If I make it a simile, so it will become Richard was lion in the fight. Okay, dear student, the third example of figure of speech which is based on its resemblance is personification. By definition, personification, inanimate objects and abstract notions are spoken of as having life and intelligence. Life and intelligence. When inanimate objects mean lifeless objects, things, an abstract notion, abstract ideas, abstract mean having no physical existence. When did things, lifeless things and abstract ideas are given human quality, they are given life and intelligence, so it is called personification. For example, dear students, Dit lays his icy hand on kings. Death is something abstract, there is no physical existence of death, but still it is given human quality, it is given life. Look at Dit lays his icy hand on kings, like kings will test to death. Number second, where wretchedness will hang its head. It is a line from Langston Hughes' poem "I Dream a World." According to the poet, he dreams of a world where wretchedness will hang its head. Wretchedness is talking about poverty, misery, deprivation. It will hang its head. Wretchedness is something abstract. How can it hang its head? Like impossible. But still, it is given life. It is given human quality. The third example of personification is pride goeth forth on horseback, grand and gay, but cometh back on foot and bigs its way. It is again, look at dear student, pride, vanity, false pretense. It is given human quality, like it rides on horseback, grand and gay, but cometh back on foot and bigs its way. Like pride had a fall, it is given human quality. Like pride ornately look forward with illegitimate and false pretense, dreaming high, but it is dashed to the ground in no time. Look at the wind whistled throughout the day. Personification. The fourth example, the fourth type of figure of speech which is based on comparison is apostrophe. Apostrophe, dear student, let me first define it. It is a direct address to the dead, to the absent, or to the personified object or idea. It is simple form of personification. Look at, dear student, you might have heard in your houses, mostly in villages, like the illiterate, the uneducated women, they call someone for help. What do they say? They say, "Oh, ye Pir Baba Raurasi." Pir Baba is dead so many years back, but still he is called for help. This is called apostrophe. So, dear student, when someone dead or absent, some abstract idea, it is called for some help. So, it is called apostrophe. For example, in the time of Wordsworth, the society turned corrupt. So he called Milton for help because Milton was a religious-minded person, and he was Puritan. So Wordsworth called Milton in order to amend the society. What did he say? Milton, thou stand for you. Thou shouldst be living at this hour, and you should amend this society. So Milton is dead so many years back. He is dead earlier than Wordsworth, but Wordsworth calling Milton for help. Number second, "Oh death, where is thy sting? Oh grave, where is thy victory?" Death is abstract, grave is abstract, but they are called for help. Look at. Number third, "Oh judgment, judgment," again it is abstract thing. "Thou art fled to brush beasts." Thou mean you. You are fled. Thou art fled to brush beasts. It is from Julius Caesar. Antony is pleading the case of Julius Caesar. Caesar is brutally killed by Brutus and his companions. So he's calling judgment for. He's blaming judgment that you are fled to brush beasts. So, dear student, all these are examples of apostrophe. Like we can say, if someone when a computer is out of order and you get angry, you say, "Why don't you work, you stupid computer? Why don't you work, you stupid computer?" Computer is something inanimate object. It is inanimate object. How you call it for something, to do something. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I have come to talk to you again. Darkness. So, dear students, uh, this was all about our first session in which we tried to teach you figure of speech, and definitely you made your effort to learn the literary devices. Dear students, try practicing figure of speech and make your language inspiring and persuasive by using these figure of speech. You may have great ideas. Discover yourself and apply figure of speech into your language. You will notice a very positive change in your personality and status. No doubt, dear student, you will be appreciated and you will be admired by everyone. So, dear student, there is a home task for you. Practice on figure of speech based on resemblance and make at least 4 sentences of your own of each type. Like we have discussed 4 types of figure of speech based on resemblance. You should go and practice these types and try to make 4 sentences of your own. And there is a assignment for you as well. You should memorize and write summaries of unit 1.1, 1.2, 2.1 and 2.2 and submit it on next Monday. It means you have 1 week time. You must submit it. I will take a long test in that assignment, and inshallah I will ask questions about the home task. Okay, dear student, thank you very much for listening my lecture attentively. You may send your feedback on the given WhatsApp number and the Gmail ID. Sorry, your suggestions are helpful for our improvement. Inshallah, we will get connected in another video lecture of this topic very soon. Till the time, dear students, goodbye, happy learning, and keep loving literature.